And set to defend her championship here in Welland is Brenda Heeney from London. Average score coming into this match, 263, and going for $1,000 in prize money. The runner-up is assured of $500, and her opponent will be Shirley Chiki, who we've already seen dispose of Claudina Lista. And another great match here, and can Shirley keep it going for another game?
Well, she's got the ball to try and do it. Brenda's got to be the true favorite, though. I don't want to dispel anything about it. She won this qualifying round by 234 pins, and now that was almost a full game the way they were going, and she did it all today. She had the big score, and she's certainly up for this. She's the defending champion, and Brenda Heeney should give her a real, should be in the driver's seat here.
So the veteran versus youth, and
for sure with the youth, and just the opposite styles. As we talked about Shirley, who brings the ball right to left, and Brenda Heeney, who comes in left to right, and works the ball so hard to get it to the head pin, and obviously works being the winner here last year, the winner, you know, certainly in the final game here this year. It's certainly a big accomplishment, and just one frame, getting this frame out of the way. It's Brenda's choice would be the choice of being the high qualifier. Brenda would get the choice of finishing first or finishing last. And she took the choice of finishing first, so she wants to have her game done with Shirley still having one frame to bowl.
And there you see the difference in styles. Lots of play on that ball.
Lots of play on that ball, moving it left to right and working it to the head pin. And like I say, shot 1446, I think, today, and for 5 games, nearly 290 a game, and just outdistanced the field.
Whoa.
Well, it gets a split, so it's going to keep it close for a while. Brenda's going to be part of the Masters, the national ladies team, going to Newfoundland as well, and a busy summer coming back, the wedding in August. And
well, she had a great 6 tournaments. In fact, finished 3rd out of the top 6, so going to St. John's is one of the favorites from this province and nationally.
Well, nationally, and the Ontario ladies do so very well out there, coached by Dottie Britton, who seems to be the perennial coach, and she's also from Beamsville down in this area, and the ladies always do well, and they'll be favorites to bring back gold medals. A little bit of a tangle with the machine.
Had a high score in this tournament of 309. Settles for the far pin on the left.
Well, I bowled her today, and she just took over with the tournament today, and just did very well, and like I say, just dominated the scoring. Shirley's going to be in this game. Like I say, getting that one frame out of the way. Now she gets a chance to play 2 frames. Get some motion here. Come down from the excitement. It would be pretty exciting beating Claudina. There's no question about that. Inside, she's got to have it, the adrenaline flowing a bit, beating the, you know, the current Ontario Masters champion, the silver medals and the nationals and so on, and be a great accomplishment. She's got to get that out of her system a little bit now. Settle down, cover this corner, which she's going to do.
Yes.
And throw another mark here, and in one game, it's always anything can happen, and certainly that's what's going on here.
Shirley's been bowling for the better part of 38 years, and discussed age. She said she's somewhere over 50, but we'll refer to her as a spring chickie.
A distinguished career, and just wants to get this on the side again, but no, she's a little tighter this game, and unfortunate. You got to play to the head pin in this game. There isn't any other way of scoring, and that's one of 5-pin bowling's unique tricks, is that it can be picked out, and then you've got a wide open split.
Bad luck here for Shirley.
Well, she pins them off, and not a whole lot she can do with this now. It's not going to be as high scoring as the last game, possibly at 298, 246. So it's the money's still there. It's not a question of how much you score. It's winning the game, and gets that out of the way. That's an unfortunate shot. Going through the 3rd with 48. Now Brenda is up, and her 2 frames and a chance to work a couple of marks. That's really what the order of the day is right now.
28 years of age and a physiotherapist at University Hospital in London.
Well, has done very well. She's on our board of directors, and certainly brings a good presence to the board, and very interested in the game. She's done a lot, works a lot with the YBC, with the youth bowling, and she's certainly an asset.
Fine group of people on and off the lanes.
Well, it's working out real well with, you know, Claudina being the architect and Brenda being a physiotherapist. It's certainly been exceptional for us, and uses a lot of lane with that ball, doesn't she? She sends it across there and gets a spare, and
This sport certainly has picked up image-wise when we look back to the 50s, hasn't it, Walter?
Well, when you look back to the automatic machine coming along in the mid to late 50s, the a lot of things, as we talked about, are 25 and 30 years old this year with the YBC, the 5-pin association, and so on. And these things all brought the bowling centers from the billiard hall reputation kind of thing. They brought the families into the center. They made them recreation centers as opposed to what they are today.
And of course, master bowling strength, I would have to think, is the YBC, and that grows.
Well, it's grows, and it's been feeding the tournament ranks. And we've got a hold up here as the pin setter knocked out the 3-pin that Brenda left, and we've got to get this back here. They're going to have to do a manual clearing down at the back. Gets the spare. 64 through 3 and a spare in the 4th. A modest 16-pin lead here, but Shirley wants to get a couple of marks here so this game doesn't fade away on her. And you know, she's competitive right now, but she's been having a little trouble getting the ball at this time. It's not quite the same Shirley as we saw against Claudine. I think it's part of the letdown. It's part of the mental part of the game. She might think she's throwing the same ball and so on, but she's a little mentally down from the last game. Like I say, certainly a big victory to beat Claudina, and that was a tough shot. Nobody was sparing that 3-pin this weekend. Tough shot to carry. It can be done, but it's can be a little more difficult.
And the confidence factor, very important. And as you can see with Brenda, she seems to be playing with a head of steam behind her, and very much confident.
Very confident. Had a big score today. Knows it. Shot 1466 today. Like I say, outdistanced the field. And Shirley here is with only 63 in the 4th. Is only down the 1 count, and she wants to pull herself back together again, get the motion going, and pull this back together. One shot will do it. Well, here's a corner, and she's been covering this corner, especially with the ball going right to left. It should be able to move across the lane, and this can get her back on the track a little bit.
Shirley bowls twice a week and masters, so.
Well, that's fairly normal for a lot of people, and she covers this corner, which is what she wants to do, and that's fairly normal for a lot of bowlers these days. A couple of major leagues, maybe a fun league and a major league, and then they play the Masters, and they run these tournaments. We run altogether 11 tournaments during the year, so it's pretty well one a month, and it keeps everybody pretty busy.
Brenda, after a 1466 earlier today, that comes from an 1166, so she really picked it up.
Oh, turned it on completely, and just did exceptionally well, and like I said, outdistanced the field, 234 pins, and I was playing with her, and she just threw a tremendous amount of strikes, and the ball was working real well. And this one's going to drift away, and Shirley's getting some extra life here as Brenda hasn't been able to run this game away the way she'd want to, and
make sure she gets it on the last attempt.
Gets it on the last one, brings her to the 5th at 107, but Shirley was 63 in the 4th on a spare, and is still in the game, down just the 15 pins or so. She was down before that frame. So Brenda, realizing the wants to get a mark.
Yes, knew it.
Well, loves to play in that pocket, and now is going to keep her lead and leaves it up to Shirley, who's been having her problems here with her with the momentum and just keeping the speed up and so on. She's been dropping the ball a little bit at the line, where she really wants to get it out on the lane, turn it over right to left, and move it into the pocket. And that's what she does, and this becomes a pretty big shot for Shirley to get her right back in the game. They both have strikes going through the 6th. Shirley's only down 14 pins. And there it is, 107 to 93, and both working on strikes. And Shirley wants a mark here.
Brenda has opened up the door ever so slightly,
and does the job. Strikes
Shirley's
in bunches.
Try to kick it in anyway.
Strikes in bunches are what wins tournaments, and what she's done is she's able to put the mental change over to Brenda to say, here, there's a couple of marks up on the board, and I just see Shirley taking a big sigh of relief to get those out of the way, because she can switch the pressure over to Brenda. That's what you're always trying to do, is put the pressure on your other opponent. And there's what happens. You pull the shot, and with 5-pin, it's such a high-scoring game. The momentum changes. Now Shirley takes the lead, and you want to make sure you hit both these pins here on this side, because it's a big count, and she gets them both. Brings her 132 through the 6th. And pinning up here in the 7th frame, she's got to go over and start over. So, like I say, it's not going to be a high-scoring game. So let's.
There it is.
Got 147. We don't pay off by the pin, so winning is what matters. So let's see if the girls can say. Brenda just wants to get a mark here.
Oh, she and fiance Dave Pankoff, as you've mentioned, I'd have to think bowling's top couple.
Well, they've done real well with him winning his big money this year. They're honeymooning in Greece. She told me a bit of the itinerary involving cruises and so on, and it looks like a pretty exciting time. And not so exciting here. As another head pin brings this one back to earth, and boy, she wants to pin both these off. She wants to forget these 2 frames. Still in this, not out of this by a long shot. Yeah, Shirley still got some work to do, and Brenda wants to get the next 2 and the 3 here to give her a 13 count for the frame, get her up to 160.
Shirley, of course, the partisan favorite here, coming from the area, and it's going to be tight.
It's going to be certainly from the Rose Festival and getting a lot of action here. It's she got a lot of rooters, because these next 2 shots are going to be pretty paramount for Shirley to grab this game. 93 working on a double, and she can put some real damage on the board here. She can be well on her way to win number 2.
Well, these lanes know
she wants to.
Oh, not enough.
Gets a count, though. It's a good count, 43 count on that first strike, bringing that up to 136, and she's going by. She's going to go by Brenda now, and wants to spare this. This is probably her tougher pin to spare, being on this right-hand side, because she's got to play the ball down along the channel, as they call it these days. And,
there it is.
She kept it out on the lane a little bit and got it, and big spare there. Going through the 7th frame at 166. Lead over 30 pins and only 2 frames to play. It's when you look at the score now, it's Brenda's going to 250. That's her maximum score, 250. So Shirley, as she did with Claudina, is wants to get it close, and there it is. That's a long way towards 250. 196 strike, and exactly what she did with Claudina. Brenda is going up, having to throw 4 strikes in a row.
And the momentum has changed.
Just one shot does it. Those 2 head pins really back to back. The 7th and 8th frame, and here's Brenda now looking at 4 strikes as a must.
Now there's a clutch strike.
But the next 2 are the next 2 as well, and this is where it. See, with the top score down 36 pins, both on strikes, and like I say, Brenda's maximum game 250. Crossing it over, and doesn't get it. It's all over. Shirley's $1,000 richer, as Brenda's going to have to settle for 2nd place. Spares the corner, 190, 220, the maximum game, and as I say, Brenda, one of the few bowlers who have tried to repeat at a tournament, and is not going to be able to do it this year.
It's a tough road to haul, and Shirley, who bowls here regularly, she's a league player here. Is that any advantage?
I think it's some advantage. I think it's some advantage being your local area. I think it's great for the some of the more senior players on the tour to come out and win these crowns. I think that's what shows bowling as being the lifetime sport, and something you can play. Lloyd Ormerod was here this weekend at 74, still bowling, and
going on 54.
Still bowling, and talking about next year already, and ready to play, and it's just something we can do all the time. And on behalf of all the master bowlers, I hope we can do it forever.
Well, if you ever get an opportunity to visit Lloyd and his wife at their Hamilton home, it's a bowling shrine.
Well, he's got all his memorabilia, and he's got the scores and the data, and he can tell me all the games. Shirley's checking the score there. I think she's pretty happy, and realizing what she's done, and she's got this in the bag, and can just play this last shot and celebrate a win here at the Brunswick Rose Festival.
So there's our champion.
There's Joe. Kiss for the winner.
Shirley Chiki, the champion here at the Welland Rose Festival Bowling Festival. Final score of 236 to 220. We'll be back with more bowling after you watch this.